And now it's time for another episode of St. Louis 7, following this episode with Art Holliday on OT with Oliver, wherever you get your podcasts. Art touched about a lot of stuff, man. You got a documentary coming up, Johnny Be Good. We talked about starting at Mizzou, getting into journalism, and 40 plus years at KSDK with stories sprinkled along the way. I had a good time. Hope you did too.
Absolutely.
So question number one, it's the obvious one. Where'd you go to high school and what do you remember?
St. Charles High School, class of 72. I remember playing quarterback and handing the ball to a future NFL running back. My teammate was Curtis Brown, and he went on to have great success at Mizzou, especially in the Southern Cal game and the Alabama game, and he and Pete Woods helped defeat Ohio State on the road in Columbus. And I was in the end zone when he scored a touchdown. I was like, that's my boy. I went to high school with him, you know. So that's easily my best memory.
Do you have a favorite concert that you attended in St. Louis?
It would either be Seal at the American Theater. I was and still am a huge Seal fan, but I also saw Steely Dan at the Fox Theater, and a 13-piece band, big horn section, multiple backup singers, and if you closed your eyes, you thought you were listening to the album. That's the tightest band I've ever heard in my life. And so 1 and 1A, and you know, and I got to throw Gary Clark Jr. in there. I've really become a big Gary Clark Jr. fan. I saw him in the Loop several years ago, and I actually got to meet him last year because he played at one of the Blues pep rallies downtown, and people were lined up to get their photo taken with him, and he was getting kind of tired and restless, and he agreed to take a photo with him, but you know, he's kind of like, man, let's hurry up. And I said, hey man, I remember you from the movie The Honey Drippers. And his face just lit up. I don't know if you ever saw it, but it's a movie that he made with Danny Glover when he was a teenager, and he was playing a guitar prodigy. And so as soon as I said that, you know, he gave me some dap and a high five, and then, you know, everything was good with taking the photo. But I mean, he really got a kick out of that.
How much fun is it to be partners with Jennifer Blume for 22 plus years?
Well, she's just become one of my best friends. That doesn't always happen when you're become a news team. You know, sometimes the co-anchors don't work together well at all. Sometimes they're okay together. In our case, we just got to be really good friends, and the audience picked up on that. And, you know, so getting a chance to reunite with her on the radio, that's the only reason I'm doing radio, was a chance to work with her again and laugh hysterically like the seventh graders we become whenever we're around each other.
When you go to Ted Drew's, what do you order?
I'm a concrete man, usually a chocolate concrete. I have very simple taste.
When you encounter 10 stop signs, how many do you roll?
Depends on what part of town, man. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of speed traps around this place.
When your friends come and visit you in St. Louis, where do you take them?
Well, I used to take them to Gambling Whiskey House, but it was a COVID-19 victim. So, you know, I love 360. That's my favorite outdoor bar. So that's another place that I take people.
All right, so we're going to wrap this thing up with one final question. Again, Art, the correct website for the documentary is?
jjthemovie.com.
People want to follow you on Twitter. The address is?
At Holliday KSDK. Holliday with 2 L's.
And if they want to listen to the episode, it's wherever they get their podcasts. OT with Oliver is the name of the podcast. Wrapping it up, what makes you proud to be a St. Louis?
Wow, that's, let me Let me ponder that. I wish you had given me some advance notice on that. Well, I've been a baseball fan since elementary school. I distinctly remember in 1964, I was probably in third grade, and they wheeled a TV into our room, and we got to watch an afternoon baseball game, World Series game, between the Cardinals and the Yankees. And I've never been the same since. So I'm a hopeless member of Cardinal Nation and have been for many decades. And I have multiple heroes. First in line is Bob Gibson. So that's one thing that makes me proud of St. Louis. I hope that St. Louis makes me proud by using this moment in history to become better than what it has been over time. And so, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Art, it was great catching up. You're extremely busy. Keep up the great work, and thank you again for your time.
You're very welcome, David.